Today we're in Los Padres National Forest in Santa Barbara, California, and we're gonna hike to the Seven Falls Trail in Bub's Peak. This is a 3.4 mile round trip hike with around 800 feet of elevation gain. There we will head to Bub's Peak on the way back, but the green lining will take us up to the Seven Falls Trail. So this hike is rated as moderate, but it could be difficult and strenuous due to all the rock climbing and creek crossing that you gotta do on the hike. But it's a great day hike, especially if you are in Santa Barbara. Now, onto the hike. So the hike will start here. There's gonna be a right side and a left side. We're gonna go right straight ahead. And today's a very gloomy and cloudy day. So today was actually a really great time to come out and film this hike. And when you get to this point, you're just gonna pass over this gate. And the path is gonna be paved up to a certain point. And you're going to reach this spot where you're going to get this nice perspective of Mission Canyon and Santa Barbara and the Pacific Coast Ocean. This section you can see is actually Mission Canyon. That right there is the Seven Falls Trail. And you're going to pass that road narrows yellow sign as you make your way up, and you're gonna pass private property along this fence, and there is a seasonal waterfall coming down underneath that bridge. So the last time I was here, it was pretty dry, so we didn't have this much water in here. And you could get off and you could stop next to the creek, and there is a nice little pool right here, so you could come and you could take a nice little dip, even though it's pretty chilly today. So the weather is actually really perfect today, especially for the type of filming I'm doing for this hike. And you're gonna reach this point right here where there's a right and a left, and there's gonna be a trail sign. So this trail sign is actually a map of all the trails that merge off from this section. And we're actually gonna start not right there, but right here. So we're actually on the Tunnel Road Trail. And from here you could make your way up to either Cathedral Peak, Inspiration Point, and Arlington Peak. And we're gonna go on this side right here, and there's gonna be a right side which will take you to Bub's Peak, and the left side will take you to the Seven Falls Trail. And when you make your way through, you're going to see this tunnel of trees, which is hence the tunnel trail. So we're above the creek, and we're going to make our way down this trail. And then when we get there, we're going to cross this creek right here, and we're going to merge onto the Seven Falls Trail, which is up there ahead. So it's kind of tricky and you can't really see it, so you just got to keep an eye out for it. It's very narrow and it's easy to miss because there's a lot of thick brush and vegetation on this hike. And this is the rock climbing you're going to have to do when you're on this hike. And already you can see a nice little cascade coming down into that pool right there. So they have a lot of neat pools on this hike. And a nice little waterfall right there. So this is just a really neat hike to do, especially right now. I would say anywhere from December to February would be a great time to do this hike. I would not recommend doing this in the late summer or even the springtime, because it'll dry up really quickly. And this is just all the little cascades coming down into the creek. And we're going to climb back up ahead and get back onto the trail. So there was a few big waterfalls on this hike that I seen, and I'm going to approach the first one in just a bit. And this right here is the path, and sometimes on this hike it'll break off and you'll probably fall off the trail, so I definitely recommend downloading the map from the All Trails app when you're doing this hike. And this is the part where you got to do some more climbing. I actually had to climb over some more boulders right there. And there is this neat little cave on your way up that you'll see. And you could always stop, take a nice little picture right here, and, you know, just maybe you could use it as shelter against the rain. But definitely a great photo opportunity right here. And we're approaching one of the first big waterfalls on this hike. So this one's flowing down pretty good. And I'm not sure the height of this waterfall, but it is a pretty decent sized waterfall. And it's definitely a great photo opportunity. And we're going to make our way back up there. And there's going to be a wire right here that we're actually going to have to climb onto to make our way up through the trail. And this is it. And then you're going to reach another little pool with cascades floating down. And we're going to climb up through there. So we just made our way up to that creek. So we do have a bit of ways to go still. And nice little waterfalls flowing down right here. More creek crossings. So this hike was rated as moderate, but honestly I would say it was on the harder side of moderate due to all the climbing and all the creek crossings that I had to go through. And there's a nice waterfall right here. You could see you got a nice little slide coming down into this pool, which is pretty neat. A nice little cascade right there. So we're actually getting close to the end of the hike, or where is I had ended the hike. And as you can see, more climbing. So that is one of the big waterfalls. So right here is actually where the pool goes down into, and there's another pool above that one. And you could climb up through this side right here. It's kind of hidden. We'll go and we'll climb up there in just a bit, and we'll try and get to that other waterfall. That way I could show you the pool. So this is actually really neat. The way the water right now is just textured. And if you want to dare, you could somehow maybe bring a rope and find another way to get up there. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to climb up here, and we're going to see if we could get a better view of that pool up there. So that's the waterfall. And I'm not sure how much further this actually goes, because when I got the All Trails map on here, it pretty much stopped me at this point. You could continue on. I'm pretty sure there's more waterfalls up above. But that right there is the pool and the waterfall. And there's a black mushroom. So now I'm going to head up to Bub's Peak. And I'm actually going to get the drone. And I'm going to fly it to where you could get a better view of all those little pools and waterfalls. So Bub's Peak was pretty much where I had pointed out earlier, which is where you make the right instead of the left. And when you get to Bub's Peak, you're going to see these rocks all lined up for you. And this section is really steep. And that's why I opted to do this one instead of Arlington or Cathedral Peak, because of how strenuous it was for me to actually get to those waterfalls. And that right there is a 7 Pools trail in that canyon. So we are approaching it, and we have arrived to Bub's Peak. And when you get to Bub's Peak, you're actually going to see these 2 giant satellite towers right here. So I'm at this point, I'm at the very top of where those satellites right there. And then I'm just going to fly up to where you can see all those pools on the 7 Falls Trail. And don't climb on these satellite towers because they are high voltage and contain electricity. But I'm just going to fly around them, and I'm going to try to get to them. And this is just a beautiful landscape view because you can see all these mountains around you. And if you look closely, you can see all the little waterfalls coming down into those pools. So those are all of the little waterfalls on the 7 Falls Trail. And that's just to give you a different perspective of what it looks like from up here. And then you could just turn the camera around and you're going to get these nice sweeping views of Mission Canyon, Santa Barbara, and the Pacific Coast Ocean from a distance. And you could even see the trail we came up to get to this point. Regardless, this is a really great hike. I would also recommend you check out my video on Inspiration Point, which is also another great hike if you want to get great views. And you pretty much take the same route, except when you get to where the creek is at, instead of making that right, you make a left. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.